please grab your coffee. Don't go so far back. Why are you going so far back? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Orlando edition. Who's here for the first time? You don't have to turn around to see if you're the only one. He's like, welcome. Thank you for coming here. Let me tell you real quickly what this is all about. It's a Kauffman Foundation initiative for entrepreneurs. It was launched 2.5 years ago. We were the 12th chapter to be accepted in the family. We're now in over 70 cities, including one abroad. This is by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. It is not Shark Tank. This is Guppy Tank, so feel free to hashtag it. And the format is 6 minutes presentation, 20 minutes Q&A. And again, it is a constructive, uplifting, friendly environment to help the entrepreneurs move their dreams forward. Everyone here is a volunteer, so just quickly, David, without whom the technology would just falter and we wouldn't have this really cool Twitter wall that you guys saw earlier. Angela sitting right there. Joining us by live feed is Nancy in Kansas City, who wishes she could be here right now because it is so freaking cold out there. Jan, who's usually with us, is currently taking and passing his bar exam, so feel free to go ahead and tweet at him and wish him good luck, so that way when he's trying to concentrate, his phone is vibrating like crazy. No phones, so afterwards his phone will blow up. And my name is Ron, and I'm also one of the organizers. So without any further ado, we're going to have Tyce come in, tell us about his story. Feel free, please, to continue to tweet and send some social media love along the way. And I'll see you guys again at halftime. Tyce, you ready? Let's welcome Tyce.
All right. See if I got on right. Okay. Thank you very much. You're gonna start me, aren't you? If you've ever had occasion to ask a senior how they feel, a very common response is, "I'm fine." I gotta get my. But this response it represents one of the most menacing public health issues facing our nation. Let me explain. I'm fine, really? How many of these seniors are fine? Laying in bed maybe hours or days, falling in the bathroom, depressed, having anxiety, forgetting to take their meds, wandering out late at night. Very common occurrence for seniors in decline. Many decline conditions often go undetected until reactive care is required. And since 90% of seniors live in the individual residence and want to remain in individual residence, it means many of them are basically affected by what I call a let it break, then fix it approach to their health care. But often that's too late. Once they're broken, it's too late. And it's a significant problem for many seniors that have been subjected to the problems of reactive health care. Unnecessary diminished quality of life is one of the issues. Traumatic emergency events, premature nursing home admission, premature death, and then often the family's caregivers are brought in and subjected to significant physical, emotional, and financial stress and strain. They're becoming known as the individual patients or the invisible patients because in many cases they're suffering as much as the seniors that they're trying to help. I'm fine, so what will it take? What it will take when the senior can finally say, I'm fine now because I have proactive care in my home 24/7. AlwaysNear Proactive Care provides comprehensive 24/7 evaluation of seniors' physical, mental, and emotion status to enable proactive care intervention. And what this does, we can't stop the inevitable, but we can certainly prevent and minimize many of the adverse consequences related to reactive care that seniors typically receive. Just as a home requires a solid foundation to provide its residents comfort and safety, so does the AlwaysNear capability require a solid foundation to enable seniors to remain affordably safer, healthier, and longer and happier in their homes. And it does this with a 5-layer foundation. The first layer, the first layer is information processing provided by the AlwaysNear capability, where we place wireless sensors, no cameras, throughout the home, very discreetly placed. You can see some samples of the sensors. The senior and family caregivers, the sensor information is collected for them and then passed real-time via the internet to the AlwaysNear website. The second layer is information processing by the AlwaysNear capability on the website, where the sensor data is first used to develop profiles for the physical, mental, and emotional conditions of the seniors in that home. Thereafter, the information is compared against the profiles. This is an example of the sensor information collected. It's what the the wireless sensors see, so to speak, but not with cameras. There's no cameras involved. This shows this lady, 88 years old. She was in bed. She got up at 5, went to the bathroom, then she got back in bed, then went to the bathroom, and so forth. It's a timeline of what the sensors have been sensing about her activities and many other things about her. The third layer is proactive care management. It's provided by Visiting Angels. You may have heard of this company, but it is a healthcare company. And when they become involved is when adverse decline conditions are detected. There's a variation from the profile for that individual. With that, they develop a proactive care plan, and then they manage that care plan. In many cases, although the proactive care avoids many emergencies, there still will be emergencies, and so Visiting Angels has combined with Ready Alert to provide emergency response coordination. But overall, the real critical part of this is Visiting Angels being the gatekeepers for proactive care. Imagine that basically they're receiving 24/7 predictive information that allows them to predict and make early determinations of adverse mental, physical, and emotional conditions that are starting to occur to these seniors who are in their decline years. And with that, they develop a proactive care intervention plan and bring in the many services that are needed to deal with that plan. Many of these services are now being provided in a reactive mode. We're moving them forward to a proactive mode to avoid the many issues that come with reactive care. And basically what then is being accomplished is that we're preventing and minimizing the consequences of adverse decline conditions. The fifth layer is the University of South Florida, the College of Public Health and Engineering. And what they are going to do is help us improve what we already have in terms of early recognition of adverse conditions. And very excitingly, they will be adding predictive recognition of adverse conditions. Actually, where several conditions by themselves don't show any indication of an issue, but combine them and then you can predict something that's coming. This group represents the team, not by name, but there's the AlwaysNear, Visiting Angels, Ready Alert, University of South Florida, and then I represent the company. I can show you more detail about the players, the actual players, later on in the Q&A. So basically, AlwaysNear proactive care prevents and minimizes personal and financial costs associated with unnecessary, diminished quality of life, traumatic emergency events, premature nursing home admission, and premature death, and the family caregivers' physical, mental, and financial stress that they go through. In terms of a market, it's the millions of seniors and caregivers that are subjected to reactive care health that they are now subjected to, which is, again, one of the most menacing public health issues facing our nation when you consider the millions of seniors and family caregivers that are involved. So AlwaysNear proactive care is meaningfully addressing one of the most menacing public health issues facing our nation. That's basically it. I have other slides if there are in the Q&A. If you want it, I can just verbally discuss it, or I can go to a slide to show you it in more visual format. I hope I made 6 minutes. Did I make 6 minutes?
Thank you. Raise your hand when you have if anybody has questions, and we'll be around with the mic.
Yes.
We just have to wait for the mic.
Oh, she didn't take it away.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So competition, who else does what you do?
There are a number of companies that are coming into the market. Most of them are notification. The big things we're doing is moving towards proactive care, not just notifying that somebody has fallen or they haven't gotten out of bed on time or they haven't taken their meds, but actually involving a proactive care management concept as opposed to just notifying. Many of those, most, I don't know any that aren't. There are some that are working in facilities like assisted living, independent living, but we're in the home. That's where 90% of the seniors are. And the difference is rather than notifying a friend, a relative, or a neighbor that something's occurred who doesn't know what to do about it, whether that's an emergency or just a declining condition, we're watching it 24/7 to either recognize early on or predictively that there's an issue coming and get to it before it becomes a much bigger problem that it can become. I don't know how you select. Oh, okay.
Do you have real-life stories or testimonies?
I'm sorry, I couldn't
Do
hear.
you have some real-life stories or testimonies?
Yes, we do. We have one that's on our website about where we literally saved a life. Now, what's happening now, I'll just go further, we will in April be entering into a 60-home study in the Villages, which is north of here, that will be under the guidance of the University of South Florida. It will be the largest live in-home monitoring study ever done. And it's live. It's using the capabilities we talked about here, the proactive care and all the elements that I talked here. We've done individual homes, but now this will be a study under their guidance. Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
Can you share with us a little more about your marketing strategy? What's your short-term goal, your long-term goal, and you see this more as started as a regional effort, or you're looking for a national effort? What's your strategy behind?
The strategy right now is to conduct a study starting in April. It will involve 60 homes in the Villages, and with the results of that study, we think that'll open a vista to many other things, because it will be the largest in-home live study. This is not a research. This is a live study to validate what the University of South Florida has already concluded about our system's ability to function. Now we're going to do it live with the proactive care management concept integrated into that process. And so beyond that, there's a lot of things that we can envision, but that's the most immediate goal. And then from there, we believe this has to happen. At some point, we've got to stop this reactive care of seniors in their homes. If any of you have had some seniors, I think some of you can relate to what goes on as they decline. Even if you visit them occasionally, there's still a lot of things going on. They just won't tell you. They're always fine because they don't want you to move them into a home or wherever else.
I've got a couple questions.
Okay.
Is this Medicare or private pay?
Right now, it'll be more private pay. We believe that because of the savings that the study is going to help us show, they're going to identify conditions and what the consequences are going to be if the individual isn't monitored. That's really what we want to do. I mean, we're going to be doing a lot of that. That'll go on for years as more and more better sensors are integrated into the system. We'll become extremely smart about that. So we believe ultimately the insurance companies, the government will start paying for this because of the savings. The cost for unnecessary diminished quality of life, emergency conditions, nursing homes, all that is phenomenal, and it's something that is just not sustainable. There's got to be something done other than leaving 90% of the seniors alone in their homes. Not totally alone, even if they're visited infrequently. Many times these conditions just aren't detected until they're a problem.
Okay. On the other side of that, right now you said you guys are using visiting angels. If the person was using Home Instead or Granny Nannies or some other home care agency, do you still sell your product to them, or you only sell through visiting angels?
Well, right now for the study, we're just using visiting angels, but that's a possibility. But that's the role that we want an organization that has the capability to deal with the issues related to seniors. And it generally is not the neighbor or the family member or somebody that is not really in tune with what goes on with a senior going through this decline conditions. And that's been one of the issues that hasn't been addressed in the home. I mean, it's relatively easy to address it in a care facility because you know downstairs you have the capabilities, whatever. We can do that. We can provide the service in care facilities, but 90% of seniors are in their home and want to stay in their homes.
Okay, last question. You said this is sensor-based, so I'm assuming there's some web-based collection from the sensors. What happens if you get to a rural area or an internet outage? How do you translate that data to a radio alert or the home care agency?
We can use the phone system. There could be a case if there's no reception, we just can't do it. We do need the internet or the phone system. The internet's just more reliable, so that's why we use the internet. And right now we're focused in the villages, and we'll be more in the metropolitan areas like that. I don't know. Oh, there.
Am I
Okay.
up? Good morning.
Good morning.
You kind of touched on this, but a two-part question is, what's the average cost per home? Who's going to pay for it, and how is this HIPAA compliant?
We pay very much attention to HIPAA compliant issues. The university is helping us there. The base charge is $200 a month. We feel that's like an insurance policy for an inevitable event, which will be some of the things we talked about: diminished quality of life, emergencies, early entrance into a nursing home. Those things prevented just a month or two within a nursing home, it well pays for itself. In terms of, right now it'll be private pay. Well, right now it'll be under grants. We have grants. We have a Florida High-Tech Corridor grant to conduct the study. So private pay, we think ultimately it'll move to insurance companies, government, and those entities that are now paying these very high bills for the reactive care that's so prevalent. Yes.
Hi. Like, I don't mean to be Debbie Downer, but you know what you want to do, and you actually have the government to pay for this, that makes way too much sense. Like, do you really think they would do that? Really?
Well, they might. I don't know, but
okay. Yeah. So my suggestion is for you to really consider other options, right? Just outside of that, because my 89-year-old mom lives with me. All right. So this world, live it every day.
Right.
And we pay for it.
Right.
Right. We pay for everything, other than, of course, her medical care.
Right.
Yeah.
It's unsustainable now. With 10,000 baby boomers retiring a day,
It absolutely
just
is.
can't be sustained. And all the care starts to occur when they get 75 and above. It doubles between 75 and 85. It's just not possible.
Yeah, I know that.
So we are absolutely private pay.
Just remember who you're dealing with, right?
Long-
It makes too much good business sense, right, for them to even think about that. So just consider
in
that.
time you'd hope that they'd realize what that means in terms of cost savings.
You would hope.
As
So,
well as
yep.
the betterment of the senior in the home.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're paying
Yep.
for the
I agree.
reactive care.
They are.
The government and the insurance companies,
Yep.
they're the ones paying for it.
They are 100%.
Well, we are, I guess.
No,
right?
no, yeah, we
I
are.
mean,
We're in
we're
reality.
paying the
Mhm.
taxes.
Yep, absolutely. So I actually do have a question. How are you, well, this suggestion and a question. So how are you communicating or creating a relationship with the children or the, healthcare advocate or the people that are actually responsible for the senior? Because a lot of people live down here and their children live elsewhere. So how are they involved in that loop?
You saw that one screen that showed the timeline. Somebody living out of state, they can pop that up. They can put it on their smartphone just to see how mom's doing. They don't have to watch it. But whoever signs them up, that might be a child. They don't have to live here, but they can have access to what the system, quote, sees through the sensors, as that one shot showed you with the timeline. And they can be a part of the notifications, but the primary notification will go to the proactive care company that knows what to do about an emergency or a declining condition that needs to be dealt with before it becomes a real problem.
Hey, good morning, Tyce.
Morning.
We met earlier, and my company provides accessibility consulting in the home, and your product has great potential. I think it's spot on with the needs. My question, a lot of them have been answered, but technically, if there are other people living in the home, how does your system zero in directly just on the client?
We can make determination. We are, to the degree that we can, and there's some ways to do that. We will be monitoring the family family member caregiver as well. Many times they have equal problems to the senior that they're taking care of, and so we are developing ways to separate the information. For instance, if they sleep in different beds, we know how long they've slept. They've taken different meds, different bathrooms. There's a number of ways, and then at some point. We may go to some RFID so we can actually identify each individual. But the family caregiver is a very important part of what we ultimately want to deal with, because they become the next patient. And many times there's just a problem that occurs that nobody realizes till they become the patient. Now you don't have anybody to take care of the senior, because now you got to take care of that home giver.
Real quick, what do you need next? If you were looking for an intro, who are you looking for an intro to? Somebody at the top of ARP? I'm just curious, what's on your mind?
I'm sorry, I didn't get...
If you were out networking and somebody walked up to you and said, what do you need next? What's the intro that you desire next?
In terms of... well, we have, through the University of South Florida, we have a number of accesses to the legislature, to insurance companies, so forth. What we're doing now is doing our first round of fundraising to finish conducting the study and start the commercialization. We've been out in the field for a number of years. We validated the system. USF has validated it. We're going to go through this study, and then the commercialization will really begin. It will first be focused in the villages, and then we'll spread from there depending on what partnerships we can form and so forth in terms of carrying it outside of the villages.
Okay. You said that the charge was approximately $200 a month.
Right.
Is that just for the monitoring? What happens if there is an issue, then Visiting Angels has to actually go
Well,
check
then
on
you
that?
get into normal service fees. That's just to provide the information to an organization that can effectively deal with it, as opposed to a friend, neighbor, relative that really they don't know what to do with most of the issues that arise. Yeah.
Thus far, you sound no different to me than Life Alert or the system through ADT, and they are significantly less than $200 a month. They are your perceived competition. What truly sets you apart?
They are not our competition. They do one thing. If the senior wears it, if they can use it, if they want to use it, and many times they don't, that's all they do. What we're doing is every aspect of the physical, mental, and emotional condition of that senior in the home. All they're doing is providing some way to push a button.
No.
We have that as well.
No, the ADT system actually puts sensors throughout the entire home. I know because my mom has it.
Right.
And if grandma falls or anything else, it immediately alerts us, and the nurse comes from a mile away to take care of her. So
Who do they alert, you or the nurse?
they alert the nurse.
Okay. Well, we can do that as well.
Right. So they are, what I'm saying is, from me as a consumer, I see no difference from you, and I don't see your advantage. What is your real magic? What sets you apart?
I think the proactive care is the thing. They're just an alert notification. Something's happened. Now let's deal with it. Now you're in the reactive care now. That's what you're doing. We're trying to predict or recognize early that these things are occurring and get in there before it becomes a reactive care. That's just like you said. They've fallen. Okay, now they can't get up. You see that ad all the time. That's a problem. They're probably way past where they want to be. We're trying to get them where they never fall, where they're not sick in bed for an extended period of time, and many of the things that now are just a part of the reactive system. You have a nurse, but can that, and there will be nurses involved, but we're organizing so that the issues can really be dealt with effectively, and they're not be. Many cases it's a friend, relative, or neighbor that just has no idea what to do.
One last question for me. I understand what he's saying. My wife and I actually owned a home care company for about 7 years, and we always would get a call when we were at the beach that a patient, something happened, and we'd have to come home and take care of it. It was always reactive. I guess, and maybe you've got this in your marketing pitch, but something like a smart house to be able to tell somebody something is going to be happening, something's probably going to be wrong. You need to prepare for this. I think that will come across a little bit better than what I'm hearing right now.
Okay.
Not that what you're doing is not correct. Right. It's just the whole smart thing. It's the preemptive care.
I agree. We've at one point called it a smart home, healthcare smart home. That would fit more what you're talking about, and that's what we're really trying to do: make it extremely smart to provide proactive care rather than the reactive care that most of the systems are doing now, and using resources that just don't know how to really react to the conditions that occur.
Your mic's off, Ron. Well, in the spirit of 1 million cups, we always ask, what can the community do for you? So what can we as a community do to help you to bring you to the next level?
Okay, well, basically right now we're just trying to get people to understand what we're about, what's going to go on in the villages. We are going to have a funding round. The first one, we have no debt, we have no institutional investors at this point. Once we get through the study, then we want to start the commercialization process, and that's why we'll be looking for some funding, some early round funding. We've done it on our own to this point, but to take it outside and to expand it from what happens in the villages study, we want to have some funding rounds.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
So before I forget, we have little parking vouchers for you guys to take, courtesy of Rollins ENT. So don't forget to send them some, 1 million cups of love. Don't forget, please, Barney's Coffee. Send them some social media thank yous. And Rudy, wave. Rudy is handling our recording and live feed. Which brings me to our ask of you for next week. I need someone to bring a good quality video camera with good batteries or the ability to plug in and enough memory to record this so we can upload it, because Rudy is embarking on an awesome adventure next week. And so he won't be here to do that. So please come and see one of the organizers. Let us know if you can bring a video camera for next week with a tripod. That would be really, really good. Otherwise, you're starting to cramp after about 5 minutes of holding the darn thing. Bess, are you ready? I'm ready. Very good. And let's welcome our next presenter, Bess.
We actually have a short movie to start off. Meet Betty. She's a local blogger. Betty has worked very hard to develop a relationship with her readers. Meet Carlos. He's a small business owner. Carlos has worked very hard to market his products and services. Carlos wants to work with bloggers the way the big brands do, but he doesn't have that kind of budget. And Betty wants to work with her favorite brands through an ad network. But they tell her she isn't a big enough blogger to matter. Wouldn't it be nice if Betty and Carlos could work together? Welcome to GottaGetBlogging Elite. Betty just found out about GottaGetBlogging Elite. They value bloggers of all sizes. And since GottaGetBlogging Elite has bloggers of all sizes, Carlos can now afford to work with some. So Carlos goes to elite.GottaGetBlogging.com and answers a few easy questions, and then they help him plan a blogging and social media campaign. They then post Carlos's campaign and send it out to over 1,500 bloggers in their network. The bloggers that are the best match respond by saying they want in. Carlos then chooses the bloggers he wants to do his blogger campaign. Each blogger writes a creative blog post full of pictures and sometimes even video or audio, and then they send it out to their readers. And best yet, they're also doing Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and even YouTube. At the end, Carlos is given a detailed report of how many people saw his blogging and social media campaign. Carlos is happy because he gets new customers to his store. Betty is happy because she made some money from blogging. And best yet, Carlos and Betty can work together on future projects. GottaGetBlogging Elite, bringing bloggers and brands together. So I presented earlier a
few months ago about when we first launched GottaGetBlogging. We were formerly FL BlogCon, the Florida Blogger and Social Media Conference, and we were moving to create this blogger network, an online learning community. One of our #1 goals has always been to help bloggers learn how to monetize. And what we kept hearing from them was, you know, we'd love to work with some of these ad networks, but we don't have the page views that we need. They require a really high number of views for us to work with them. They're missing out on some really, really great blogs by not doing that. And so, since there are other companies that do this, we are proud to be the first company to be able to provide local influencers to Central Florida companies. So that is one of our main differentiators. As I said, we spent several years developing this blog network. We have over 1,500 bloggers as part of our network all across the state of Florida, but with a high concentration in Central Florida. One of the other differentiators from other blog networks that connect brands and bloggers is that we oversee the work for you. I spent a lot of time researching with brand people, marketing reps that actually work with bloggers through this blogger outreach, and they say, you know, it's so hard for us to really make sure that all these bloggers are doing their work. So that's something that we can provide that service. And we also connect brands and bloggers for the long term. If you are a small business owner, you do blogger outreach for us, and you find that you really love the way a blogger works, we're going to give you their contact information so you can work with them and continue that relationship. That helps meet our goal of helping these bloggers moving to monetizing. So I'm going to go ahead and address this. Earned media versus paid media. So was anybody here for Vinny Says? Yeah. So he was shocked that bloggers actually wanted to be paid to write about him. He's like, I couldn't believe it. Unfortunately, that's the new norm. So earned media, of course, is when something so great happens that everybody wants to write about it. Michael Phelps earning his 18th gold medal. Everybody wanted to write about that. Paid media is when you pay a blogger or even a magazine journalist, newspapers do it too, you pay them to write about a topic even when it's not really earth-shattering news. And that is becoming the norm, especially with blogging. So let's look at some price comparisons. If you're a small business owner here in Central Florida, this is for a small ad in the Orlando Sentinel on page 12. 1/6 of a page in one issue of Orlando Magazine. A billboard for 1 week. How many of you, when's the last time you really paid attention to a billboard? This one is by the week, the one that I saw the pricing for. So why bloggers instead of a newspaper or a magazine or a billboard or some other form of magazine or advertising? Well, 92%, and this is research that's done by Nielsen, that 92% of consumers like that word of mouth marketing. They believe and they turn to their friends, and bloggers they consider their trusted friends, their online virtual friends. Consumers most often turn to blogs when looking to make a purchase. They're actually one of the top influencers of consumers getting ready to make a purchase. And research has shown that actually some of those smaller bloggers with the more dedicated, loyal communities have a better ROI for brands that work with them than some of the huge bloggers do. That's why we like working with bloggers of all sizes. We like embracing those bloggers that have made those communities. And bloggers provide a really great content for you. You're not just going to get a static picture. You're going to get a whole story written about you. You're going to possibly get photos that are Instagram tweeted out there. You can get video made, even podcasting. So it's very interactive and immersive for the readers to influence them to check out your brand. So what is our actual product? Connecting you. So we offer 3 different options according to your budget size. So our starter option, which we anticipate will be the most affordable, obviously it will be the most affordable, starts at about $400. This gives you a team of small bloggers to work with. We take time to match up who you want to target. If you are looking for teenage girls, we find bloggers whose readers are primarily teenage girls. If you're looking for parents, we find bloggers that have parents that read their blogs most often. So we take time to find the right fit blogger for you. If you have a little bit bigger budget and want a little larger reach, we can do the same thing. With our preferred option, which we anticipate probably is going to be our most often chosen option. Starts at about $12.99, and that gives you bloggers of a mid-sized reach. Bloggers that reach between 25 and 100,000 readers a month. That is what you would get for that money. And then the last option, which if you have a really big budget, if you're a Ford or a Disney or some of the ones that actually do use this, we do have bloggers that have over 1 million readers a month that we can accommodate you, but you will have to obviously pay for that. So Carlos is happy he has this option of what he can choose. So what do you get? So these are some of the bloggers that are in our network right now that are great bloggers that would be great for your brand influencers. We have Corey Warren, a Real Iron Dad. He's a family blogger, a fit blogger. He has an intense following. But he's a newer blogger. He's got this great podcast. He would love to be working with brands. Isaiah, some other companies, he has trouble working with because he's not big enough to really get the great projects that he wants to work on. But a brand would be lucky to work with him because he has such a loyal following. Nicole Eats, she has this fabulous blog where she goes out and she creates this great video. Wouldn't you love to have her in your shop if you're a chocolatier or any type of restaurant, showcasing your food in this beautiful way that then you can take and put on your Facebook page and shout out to your customers. We have podcasting, we have travel blogs, we have interior design bloggers, so we have just about anything you want to reach, we can find a blogger for the right fit for you. So, our elite bloggers, your amazing brand equals amazing business results. And here are our asks. I'm done.
Again, raise your hand if you have any questions for Bess.
Bess, I love you.
I love you, Ben.
You rock. The prices that you posted there, the estimated retail price or whatever, are there...
Do you want me to go back?
Yeah, please. You didn't specify if that was per project. Is that monthly?
Yeah,
is that
that is
annually?
for a blog campaign. So that would be a standard blogger and social media campaign. So what you would get from that would be, first I would talk with you and say, okay, what are your goals in this campaign? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get customers inside your brick and mortar store? Are you trying to just do brand awareness? Are you trying to promote an event you have coming up? So first we talk about your goals. And then once we've established those goals, we then publish it and say, hey bloggers, we've got this great project we want you to work on. So they sign up and apply. You can either go through and handpick the bloggers or trust us to do it. And then what we do is we give the specifications. All right, bloggers, we need a blog post. So a standard campaign typically would include a blog post and then photos. And if the blogger is good at video, we don't want a blogger that doesn't do great video doing video. We want them to be good videos. So if they do video, they'll include that. And so the blog post and any accompanying things that go with it, whether it's a podcast or video or whatever that blogger specializes in. And then we guarantee Facebook postings and tweets that go out, as well as Instagram and Pinterest.
Okay. And the follow-up with that is there a social responsibility tie-in with this also?
Yeah, absolutely. We never want, obviously, it's not in our best interest to ever have bloggers post anything that reflects poorly on your brand. So I'm assuming that's what you mean? No? The FTC?
Social responsibility, i.e., after you have followed up with that campaign, you want to make sure that you're mostly doing campaigns that are beneficial or for a social cause or for something that's a benefit to the people in the world at large. Not
well,
just,
that's just
not
good
just for making
practice
money.
anyway. So we have all different bloggers that, we have coupon bloggers. I mean, there are so many different ones. And so we would never take on a campaign that we feel would be hurtful or would not be positive in some way.
Hi, Bess. With the addition and changes in digital media and blogging becoming so prevalent, if you look at a company's overall marketing budget, about what percentage do you usually tell them to dax off and put into this kind of paid campaign? So if they have $100,000 a year, what would be the ballpark?
Obviously, that's differing by the individual company, and we have seen it grow over the years. I think even just a few years ago, it was as little as like 20%. It's now actually grown to over half the budget for some of the companies. I know Ford uses a huge amount of their budget for it, but of course they can afford to use a huge amount. And so I don't know if I'm capable to give you exact percentages. What we would recommend, though, is look at your forms of advertising, what you're paying for, and determine which one you're going to get the greatest ROI from. And we feel that the interactive, immersive, engaging social media and blogging is one of your best bets.
Okay, I'm sorry, first of all, that I haven't gone to your site to see what you have on there, but is there like a catalog or a menu that shows who you're offering as your bloggers, what their reach is, what their influence is?
Yeah, so we have actually a directory. Yeah, we have a directory where you can go through and peruse bloggers in different categories. And then, however, a lot of our bloggers are not yet listed on that directory. And so when we email out, you will see the bloggers, you'll see their reach, you'll see who their audience is. And so that's when you can go through and handpick. You want this blogger, this blogger, and this blogger.
So I thought I understood when at the beginning of your presentation that you said one of the benefits of your service was that you worked with a lot of bloggers with local reach.
Yes.
So does that mean that most of the people you work with are Central Florida bloggers and have a reach within Central Florida, or do you also have other kind of geo-targeted local bloggers in other areas?
Well, part of that does with our history. So we started off 5 years ago with the Central Florida and Social Media Conference. And so we started off with a conference that gathered 100 bloggers that were primarily from the Central Florida area. It has grown every year to now we're the Florida Blogger and Social Media Conference because we have bloggers from Miami to Tallahassee to Jacksonville coming. But truly our emphasis, because we started here in Central Florida, is primarily in Central Florida. However, Tampa, we're getting ready to have a presence in Tampa because one of my team members actually is going to be doing a lot of business over there. So we would be able to accommodate other areas. But Central Florida, I feel, is our sweet spot.
I actually just have one quick question, and that is, how are you calculating fans? Is that unique impressions per or unique visitors per month in your blog? Is it Twitter followers? What is it? Yeah, so it's always a combination. So if you can see there, unique monthly visits between 100 and 25,000. So that's Google Analytics. It's verified. You'll be able to see that. Combined social media following. So that means if you add up their Twitter followers, their Pinterest followers, their Facebook fans, their Instagram followers, that's where you get it, because you're going to have your content posted across all of those.
Hi.
Hi.
Awesome. I love this. So who is your ideal target client? Like if you could line them up, in front of you, who is it that you would want to go meet today?
Okay, we have two of them that I feel that we are a great fit for. Small to mid-sized businesses that do business here in Central Florida that want clients and that are here in Central Florida. So all the stores on Park Avenue, Mall of Millennia, any of those that are around here that do business here in Central Florida. And then the second one that we perceive would be a great fit for would be if you were a trade show coming to Orlando. You need to be advertising to the people in Orlando to walk in the door to your trade show. So we see both of those. So anybody have connections at the Orlando Convention Center? Send them our way.
Hey, I'm just curious about the bloggers that you'll be using. How good are they at quantifying their own audience? Generally, like you were talking about, some of them will have mostly dads, some of them will have mostly couponers. Do most bloggers know exactly who their readers are?
Yeah. Most quality bloggers do. And that's how they build their community. We always look at bloggers as community builders. And that's really what they are. Corey Warren, Real Iron Dad, he is reaching out to other dads. He is building a community of dads. He thrives on that. He is a stay-at-home dad that wants to connect with other dads and talk about dad problems. So it does not benefit him to write about something that has nothing to do with his audience. And most bloggers understand that to survive, you have to write about what your readers want to read about. And so you're building that community. So most of them do have a very good idea of who their readers are.
Oh. Good, me. Hi, I know we spoke before. I'm a blogger, and I work with a lot of the different network, IZEA and all of those. How do you keep different businesses, like I have like mattress companies contacting me and are like, write about it. I'm like, that's nothing to do with what I do. So how do you like tell companies, I guess, that they're not a right fit for your network?
You know, that's a great question. Actually, this is a new program for us launching. And before we went into this business, because we were on the education side of helping bloggers learn how to improve their blogging, we actually thought long and hard before we decided to launch this. And so I spent a lot of time doing research on both sides. I spent time talking with bloggers who work with several different ad networks. You know, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Because if we're going to build something from the ground up, we might as well try and do it the right way. And so, truthfully, I don't know how we'll address that. I don't know if it'd be something that we just turn down that business, because who the heck, sorry if you own a mattress store in here, but who the heck wants to write about a mattress store unless they're going to give you a free mattress in your room to, you know. I might write about it then if they give me a, you know. But otherwise, you know, because we haven't yet gotten into the campaigns yet, it may be something we don't address. And we really anticipate this being, because our community is so active with GottaGetBlogging, we have members that, you know, will message me when they don't like something. Believe me, they let me know when I've done something that they're like, nope, this doesn't work. So I anticipate this being kind of a member-driven, where they give feedback with the types of campaigns that they like and that they don't. Great question, though.
I have two things. One, on the mattress comment.
Oh, no, do you own a mattress store?
No, I don't,
okay.
but it's I mean, she posed an interesting question, but I think that there is an opportunity with the mattress store. I think you turn it around back on them and you say, we need to produce an interesting story about this. And whether it's maybe that mattress store is going to donate 100 mattresses to charity or something like that, and then you can build an awesome story around that. And maybe it's a boring mattress store, but you make it interesting.
And that meets what Boone was asking about as well. I love that. Great.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is I own an events company. We put on an event in Florida twice a year. And something like this is very interesting to me. So when you're talking about conventions, my suggestion to you would be maybe don't only focus on those types of events, but any type of event that's coming into.
So my question to you is, how do I find out about those? Just by word of mouth, looking at the internet?
The good news for you is companies who have events, local events, are advertising them. So you just go out and look at event calendars. You
Pay
look
attention.
Yeah, just go find them and then start beating down their doors and show them that you have the reach that they need. I mean, if you brought this to me up and Nons, look at, I'd be looking at those.
Yeah, thank you. Hello.
To kind of touch base again on the location of being central and local to Central Florida, are you considering going into other regions for companies like Sam? His events are all over the country, and I sell to all over the country, but would still love to get kind of the local feel within those different areas. Are you looking to maybe offer the same thing in other regions?
We are, but we're trying to grow organically. Okay. So, and that goes kind of hand in hand with our blogger conference. We've had, you know, why don't you make your blogger conference this huge event? Well, we like it being local. People like seeing the same people. But, so GottaGetBlogging also produces its television show, weekly television show, that only airs in Virginia. Don't ask me how that happened, but we only air in Virginia. I was like, really? But anyway, we're in Virginia once a week in people's homes talking about blogging, and it's taken off there. And so I anticipate shortly being able to, you know, we've started connecting with the influencers in Virginia. And so shortly I anticipate us doing a Virginia BlogCon. But that grew organically. It wasn't us trying to force it. So as we can, because GottaGetBlogging does, that's anywhere in the world. So as we continue to pick up new members to that community, if it grows organically, then yes, I would be able to offer you influencers. That would be something we'd definitely be interested in. Hi, Boone.
Hi. Two very pertinent questions. One, let's say that hypothetically I am a blogger, which I am not, and I wanted to get on this. How easy is it? You know, how easy is it for me as a blogger to become a paid blogger? And then the second is, from the business creating a campaign kind of person, which I do need, you know, are you live? Is this up? Is this in beta or beta? Is this what level is this at? And when can I, you know, come beat down your door and say, hey, I need 15 campaigns for 45 different things.
So it is in, I would call beta, because we are just launching, we're just starting. In fact, you guys are the first group that I've actually talked to in a public way about it. We announced to our members that we were starting this just earlier in the month. They were very, very excited, especially those bloggers that we know have incredible blogs. Christy Zizzo does a blog called Life with Beagle. She has this intense, dog people, I mean, she has this intense following, but because she's a dog blogger, it's not hundreds of thousands of page views, but her followers, oh my gosh, they are intense. So she would be the perfect type of, if you want to market to that type of, that type of demographic, she would be wonderful for you to work with, and there are countless blogs like that. So I'm so thrilled to be able to offer this to our members. So it is in beta. So if you visit the site, if you just go to GottaGetBlogging, you'll see Work with Bloggers, click there. You can go ahead and start filling out, and we'll contact you and start. Today I could email out to the 1,500 and say, hey guys, we have a company that, would love to do a blog campaign. So we could accommodate you today. What was your other question? Sorry.
How easy is it as a blogger?
Yeah. So one of the things, so I spent research on the other side. So not only did I talk with the bloggers, but I talked with PR people, several of them, about what do you like when you do blogger outreach? What are the things you like about it? What are the things you don't like about it? Because we need to be a service to the companies we represent as well. And I spent a great deal of time with Shay Glennie back there. Thank you, Shay, for your input, telling me what she liked and what she didn't like when she worked with these blog networks. And one of the things that kept coming up was, how do I know the bloggers that I get are good bloggers? How do I know they're quality bloggers? And that's a very, very fair question, because just about anybody can start a blog nowadays. So my answer, one is short term and the other one is long term. The short term answer is that that'll be part of the service we provide to you. If we have 25 bloggers go through, I can help you say, I don't think that one's very established yet. We might want to give them more time, so perhaps we don't choose that particular blogger. So that'll be part of our service that we offer to you. The long term one is we're also looking for some type of quality program that our bloggers will have to go through, some type of certification, but that's in the long term that we're moving towards. That way we can say, yep, they're certified, we know they're great.
How do I, as a blogger, join the group?
Oh, sorry, totally missed that. Well, you started off by saying that you weren't a blogger. Okay, got it. Yeah, so our bloggers, if they go to that Work with Bloggers, they can sign up by getting registered on a directory. At least they're then on our radar. And that way they're then in our database to email. So it's pretty easy to get into the group. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think this idea is really great. I just had a question about, are the campaigns on a month-to-month basis? Can you do is it 3 months, 6 months, or can you do it whenever you need it? That's the first part of the question. Okay, so the first part of that answer is that you're getting a one-time working with a team of bloggers, and so that would be a one-shot whenever you need it. So if it's, I want this blog campaign done in the next 2 weeks, we'll get it done the next 2 weeks. I want this blog campaign done, right before this event happens, we'll schedule it to happen before that event. Got it, okay. Yeah, that was thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I have 2 recommendations for you.
Great.
Number 1, pay close attention to the Orlando Business Journal. Okay. I know you want to grow your business here in Central Florida, and they're always writing about new business or opening new stores. I'm a journalist. I write for them.
Fantastic.
So I encourage you to pay close attention. Also, they have some different seminars that teach readers on how to get leads, on how to elaborate that.
Fantastic.
So that will be my one of the recommendations that I have. The other one, I think what you have is a great product, and I think you have opportunity also to growth if you keep in mind, as you mentioned, Carlos, the Hispanic community represents 28% of Central Florida, purchasing power over $11 billion. So by you providing content to that target audience, you have another source there of income, providing something that will set you apart from the competition, which nobody's paying attention right now.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right, so in the spirit of 1 million cups, as always, we kind of wrap up with what is the most important thing that our community can do for you, Bess?
Well, I truly appreciate the feedback. As I said, we are launching this, and this is new territory for us. Even though I've been a blogger on the blogging end to work with other ad networks, for us to actually launch and then be the coordinator of it is new for us. And like I said, if we're building from the ground up, we might as well do it the right way. So we want to not only make our bloggers happy, but also, if we're a company, we want to make sure that you keep going back to us, that you enjoyed the experience, that you feel you got quality return from the blogger outreach. So thank you for your feedback. That's the first thing, and the suggestions. Keep them coming. So use our service. If you have an event coming up, or if you want to try working with a team of bloggers, we'd love to make that happen for you. Recommend GottaGetBlogging Elite. GottaGetBlogging, if you know of somebody that could really use some social media marketing bump out there, recommend us. And then I do have a blog post that was written recently that you can go view. I gave it the bit.ly 1 million cups. If you're totally unfamiliar with a company doing blogger outreach, this kind of walks you through how one company has done that. And so it kind of walks you through the benefits and how they leveraged it to their bit. So there you go.
Thank you. Let's give all of our presenters a round of applause. And we just want to say, as we wrap up, thank you all for coming. Our goal is every week, everyone in this room, bring a friend so we can continue to grow this community. Also reach out to all the other entrepreneurial development resources that we have in this community. For example, Shay Glenny's new Women's Business Center. She's back, one of our former organizers. Everyone wave at Shay. And just some housekeeping. Make sure you grab your parking certificate, or what's it called? Thank you, your parking ticket. And make sure you clean up your cups, and make sure you hang out, network, and help these presenters out and ask them what you can do for them personally, because they may have more detail for you. See you all next Wednesday.
And remember, if somebody has a video camera, come up and find an organizer.